the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ninth Kamandag exercise officially kicks off. Army Chief His 502nd Infantry Brigade urges shift to external security operations. EDSA rebuilt to begin on June 13th. DOTR, MNDA, and DPWH laid out measures to minimize disruption. MNDA's no-contact apprehension policy is back.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Tuesday, May 27, and this is AFP Community News, your source for the updates of the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay, here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, the Philippine Marine Corps and United States Marine Corps, along with partner nations, officially launched exercise Kagapay na Mamandirigma mula sa dagat o Kamandag 09-25 at the Bonifacio Naval Station, Taguig City yesterday. PMC Commandant Major General Arturo Rojas presided over the opening ceremony as the officer conducting exercise. Kamandag 09-25 aims to strengthen interoperability and readiness for joint and combined territorial defense operations. This year's iteration includes participants from Japan, South Korea, and the United Kingdom, with observers from France, Australia, Bahrain, the Netherlands, Canada, Indonesia, New Zealand, and Thailand. The exercise runs until June 6, 2025.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Army Chief Lieutenant General Roy Galido commended the 502nd Infantry Liberator Brigade for its internal security accomplishments and urged the unit to accelerate its transition to external defense during his visit to Camp Melchor de la Cruz Annex Setchague, Isabela. He awarded the brigade with the CGPA Major Engagement Streamer Award for dismantling the Comiteng Rehiyon, Cagayan Valley, and praised the troops' discipline, commitment, and professionalism. Moreover, in his talk to troops, he emphasized his command guidance, Army urging soldiers to pray always, be reliable, responsive, and relevant, remain mission-oriented, and yield personal interest for the greater good of the Army and the nation.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOCOM, let's hear some information from Joanne about Philippine Army Reserve Command Chief honored during visit to NOCOM.
Major General Ramon P. Sagala, Philippine Army, Commander of the Reserve Command Philippine Army, visited the headquarters of Northern Luzon Command at Camp Aquino, San Miguel, Tarlac City on May 25, 2025. Brigadier General Romaldo Raymond B. Landingin, Jr., Philippine Army, the Deputy Commander of NOLCOM, with the Unified Command Staff Officers, received Major General Sagala on behalf of Lieutenant General Fernil G. Buca, Commander of NOLCOM. The visit highlighted the continuing collaboration between NOLCOM and RESCOM Philippine Army in building a capable reserve force that contributes to internal security and disaster response. NOCOM supports efforts to strengthen the Philippine Army Reserve Force as part of its trust as a jointly engaged, sustainment maintained, and readiness-trained force. It upholds the values of being matapang, masipag, magalang, at responsable in sustaining peace and security in Northern and Central Luzon. This is John Sagak reporting from Northern Luzon Command for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Joanne from NOLCOM.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy, through the Fleet Marine Ready Force and CMOU National Capital Region, successfully conducted a field exposure tour for foreign service students from Lyceum of the Philippines, University, Manila, at Naval Base Heracleo Alano, Sangli Point, Cavite City. The tour featured shipboard visits, capability demonstrations, and forums of the Navy's history, the West Philippine Sea, and internal security missions. Students explored key Navy units including the Naval Air Wing, Fleet Training and Doctrine Center, Littoral Combat Force, NAVSOCOM, and the Philippine Navy Museum. Part of Complan Mulat, the activity promoted maritime awareness and strengthened civil-military relations by fostering informed, security-conscious future leaders.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Sailors and Marines from Naval Reserve Center National Capital Region's Regular Force joined the Tactical Combat Casualty Care and Leadership Development Training at MBGL in Ternate, Cavite. The training under the State Partnership Program aimed to boost the Armed Forces of the Philippines Reserve Forces defense capabilities. The program fosters international collaboration to enhance readiness in military operations, disaster response, and security.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Meljoy of 1st Year G about Army Chief awards 502nd Infantry Brigade for dismantling Communist Regional Front.
Yes, Rofh, the Commanding General of the Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, visited the 502nd Infantry Liberator Brigade in Barangay Suyong, Itiaga, Isabela to commend the Liberator troopers for their operational success. During the visit, Lieutenant General Galido awarded the 502nd Infantry Brigade with the Commanding General Philippine Army Major Engagement Streamer Award. This is in recognition of the role of the brigade in the successful dismantling of the Comiting Rehiyon Cagayan Valley, a regional front of the communist insurgency. In his remarks, Lieutenant General Galido praised the professionalism of the soldiers, emphasizing that the modern armed forces of the Philippines are characterized by discipline, commitment, and a strong sense of responsibility. The brigade was led by Acting Brigade Commander Colonel Davis Christopher G. Mercado, who welcomed the Army Chief. The event was also participated by Major General Gulliver L. Señeres, Commander of the 5th Infantry Division, along with officers, enlisted personnel from the brigade, and representatives from the Operational Control and Tenant units. This is Meljoy Oroco reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Meljoy of 1st Year G.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity thanked the Department of Budget and Management for releasing over 1.4 billion pesos to support the Pamana program, the government's flagship peace and development initiative. OPAPRO Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. praised DBM Secretary Amena Pangandaman for backing President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s vision of inclusive progress. The funds will support capacity building in 200 communities and sustainable livelihoods in 981 barangays. Galvez emphasized the funding as a tool for healing and transformation in conflict-affected areas.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. once again called for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations to take decisive action and adopt a legally binding code of conduct in the South China Sea. During his intervention at the 46th ASEAN Summit and related meetings, Marcos said the COC aims to safeguard maritime rights, promote stability, and prevent miscalculations at sea. The Philippines is one of the 4 member states with overlapping territorial claims over islands, reefs, and surrounding waters, the other 3 being Brunei, Malaysia, and Vietnam. The country is looking to finalize the accord by the time it hosts the next edition of the summit in Manila next year.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Gina about Sustainment Center Training Command launched its second training period for CY 2025.
Yes, Rofh, the Sustainment Center Training Command launched the second training period for calendar year 2025 at Fort Ramon Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija. Colonel Lawrence A. Aninag, OS MNSA Philippine Army, SC Director, led the opening of career and specialization courses for officers, enlisted personnel, and civilian human resource. The training program is designed to sharpen leadership skills, boost tactical effectiveness, and enhance technical proficiency among participants. Adding distinction to the event was Major General Ray B. Alemania, Deputy Chief of Staff, for Logistics J4, who served as the guest of honor. In his remarks, he highlighted the growing importance of logistics and sustainment in modern military operations and encouraged trainees to fully engage in their learning. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
The Commission on Elections maintained that the 2025 midterm elections was the most successful in Philippine history. The COMELEC emphasized its speed, peace and order, and record-high voter turnout. COMELEC spokesperson Attorney John Rex Laujanco said the poll body is ready to appear before Congress if and when called upon to present the factual data. Laujanco reiterated that the poll body had fully complied with the automation mandates of Republic Act No. 8436 and stands ready to implement any future changes Congress may pass, including calls to shift to a hybrid election system.
DWDD National News.
The government announced an ambitious traffic management and construction blueprint for the long-anticipated EDSA rebuild project. The rehabilitation will enter its preparatory phase on June 13. The Department of Public Works and Highways, the Department of Transportation, and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority laid out detailed measures to minimize disruption and maintain safe, orderly traffic on Metro Manila's busiest artery. The project aims to ease daily traffic, modernizing commuter infrastructure, and transforming EDSA into safer, greener, and more pedestrian-friendly corridor. DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan said the construction will roll out in phases, beginning with the northbound stretch from Rojas Boulevard to Star Mall Shaw Boulevard.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report on the ground, let us hear the report of Mike about 61st IB ensures sustained peace and development efforts in far-flung barangays in Iloilo.
The 61st Infantry Battalion recently conducted a visit and inspection of the Mobile Community Support Sustainment Program. Teams stationed in key areas of Tubungan and Igbaras in Iloilo Province. The teams are currently deployed in barangays Bikil, Molina, and Igdampog Sur in Tubungan, as well as Barangay Pasi in Igbaras. This field visit aimed to assess ongoing efforts, reinforce collaboration, and ensure sustained support for peace building and community development across the region. Meanwhile, the Philippine Army reaffirmed its commitment to protecting peace and security while empowering communities to become resilient and self-sufficient. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority has fully reinstated the no-contact apprehension policy. MMDA Chairperson Don Artes sought to reassure motorists that the system would prioritize fairness, particularly in cases where unclear road markings or missing signage. Artes assured that every flag violation undergoes manual review to weed out errors and they will not issue tickets for their own shortcomings. The return of NCAP comes with a critical shift that there would be no more dry runs. The MMDA chief said traffic laws are not optional, dismissing cause for a grace period.
DWDD National News.
Relatedly, Senator Grace Poe reminded the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority that the end goal of the no-contact apprehension policy should be to promote safe and responsible driving. Poe said the country would be better off using technology that prevents corruption to ensure order on our streets. But the government needs to make sure the system is working properly. She then urged the MMDA to consider mounting high-resolution cameras with automated number plate recognition, clear evidence collection with time stops, and GPS coordinates. The lawmakers stressed that there should also be a dedicated independent review board within the MMDA with qualified traffic commissioners.
Armed Forces Radio.
And more updates from Bea. Navy reservist participates in advanced firefighting training in Croatia.
The Philippine Navy Reservists participated in the lithium-ion battery seminar held in Croatia. The commander of 27th Naval Affiliated Reserve Group, Commander Peter P. Negrido, Philippine Navy GSC Reserve, proudly presented the Philippine Navy Reserve and the nation as the sole Asian participant in the seminar. This international seminar focused on advanced firefighting training, particularly on electric vehicle extrication techniques and the use of fireman access ports to effectively manage EV fires. The Philippine Navy's reservice participation underscore our nation's commitment to operational readiness, global interoperability, and the adoption of international best practices in emergency response and rescue operations. This is Beatrice reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD National News.
The Philippine National Police intensified police visibility, a calibrated campaign to combat all forms of criminality. The intensification of the police visibility program was launched by Interior and Local Government Secretary John Vic Remulla with the supervision of National Capital Region Police Officer Director Major General Anthony Aberin. The event was followed by the inspection of police stations in Metro Manila. Remulla emphasized that people should see police officers walking around regularly. He also added that over time they get to know them and that familiarity brings a sense of safety.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met with Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh on the sidelines of the 46th Association of Southeast Asian Nations in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The two leaders reaffirmed their commitment to strengthen diplomatic relations between the two nations. Marcos said the ministers of both countries are in discussion on the possibility of elevating the strategic partnership to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Chin also acknowledged the remarkable progress in bilateral relations since Marcos's state visit to Vietnam last January 2024.
Armed Forces Radio.
From Chris Bell, 1st Marine Brigade unveils a canvas of peace and progress in BARM.
As part of the 1st Marine Brigade's ongoing support for the peace process and normalization efforts in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, a powerful mural has been unveiled inside Camp Iranon, Barira, Maguindanao del Norte on May 22, 2025. Created by the talented Isidro family of artists led by Joseph Daster Isidro, visual artist, the mural captures the profound journey of the Bangsamoro people from conflict and displacement to healing, hope, and progress. Mural painting highlights the pain of the past, vivid depictions of armed struggle, devastated communities, and the plight of displaced families illustrate the hardships endured by the Bangsamoro. The shift to peace. Community elders, religious leaders, and government representatives are shown in dialogue, symbolizing unity, resilience, and the spirit of reconciliation. Progress and fulfilled dreams. Children return to school, graduates take on new roles as professionals, and a peaceful, thriving community reflects the promise of a better future. More than just art, this mural boosts the morale of troops and stands as a meaningful platform for civil-military cooperation. It affirms the Marine Corps commitment to peace, stability, and inclusive development, supporting the National Peace Agenda and the BARM normalization track. This is Crisbel May Lorenzo reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Chris Bell.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, the Department of Education said that the country is grappling with a worsening classroom shortage that could take up to 30 years to address if current funding levels persist. Due to this, DepEd Secretary Sonny Angara highlighted the urgent need for greater investment in the country's public education infrastructure. Angara said around 165,000 classroom shortages are growing because the current budget can't support it. DepEd data shows that the Philippines currently lacks 165,443 classrooms, a challenge that directly impacts the quality of education and the future of Filipino youth.
DWDD National News.
3 water systems would bring cloudy skies, scattered rain, showers, or thunderstorms across the country. Pag-asa said that the Zamboanga Peninsula in Mindanao, Western Visayas, and Palawan in Luzon would experience cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms due to the intertropical convergence zone. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will also experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms due to the easterly winds. Meanwhile, the rest of Mindanao would also have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to the ITCZ.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more updates from Mon about Naval Forces Central participates in Indo-Pacific Regional Information Committee meeting in Lapu-Lapu City.
The Naval Forces Central joined the kickoff ceremony of the 3rd Indo-Pacific Regional Information Sharing Steering Committee meeting held in Lapu-Lapu City, Cebu. The event was hosted by the European Union's Critical Maritime Routes Indo-Pacific Program in partnership with the National Maritime Center, which brought together around 110 delegates from across the Indo-Pacific region. The meeting focused on strengthening connectivity among naval forces, coastal states, and the merchant shipping community, while endorsing key initiatives from the IRIS, Policy Board, and working groups. The Philippine Navy remains firmly committed to regional maritime security through cooperation, dialogue, and joint operations, advancing its vision of a modern and multi-capable naval force. This is Richmond reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mon.
Armed Forces Radio.
Some information from CAF about Philippine Air Force expands southern posture with MDAAB relocation to Lumbia.
Yes, Rofh. The Philippine Air Force continues to strengthen its national defense posture. The Major Danilo Atienza Air Base in Sangli Point, Cavite has officially begun relocating personnel and equipment to Lumbia Airport in Cagayan de Oro. Among the first to transfer are the 80th and 20th Attack Squadron, along with the 462nd Rotary Wing Field Maintenance Squadron of the 15th Strike Wing. The former Lumbia Airport is now being transformed into the new home of the Trojans. This relocation highlights the Philippine Air Force firm commitment to a mission-oriented, capability-driven, and a values-based approach. This is Scott reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Kath.
DWDD National News.
Elementary students now have a more engaging way to learn science and math through Radyo Eskwela sa Ciencia. It is an animated educational series launched by the Department of Science and Technology's Science Education Institute. It aims to make difficult science and math concepts easier to understand for young learners. These free science and math video lessons are now accessible via NULAB's Facebook page, making it easy for students, parents, and teachers to watch and learn.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.